Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today our show is Cross Trainers Fitness Forum. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask. Today our show is Cross Trainers Fitness Forum. And as our guest, we have with us Richard Wilhelm, Sales and Marketing Manager, and Tim Steinbrink, Disability Fitness Coordinator. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello,
Marsha.
Glad to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Now, I'm going to start off with you, Richard, because this is going to be something I'm sure our listening and viewing audience is going to very much enjoy, and I know it has something to do with fitness, so basically fitness for the disability and fitness for non-disabled persons.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about Cross Trainers Fitness.
Well, it was the brainchild of our two owners, Christopher Grobel and Randy Carver. It started about 6 years ago when our owner, Chris, was on a trip up north to go skiing. He was an avid skier. He would go extreme skiing, jump out of helicopters, the whole nine. And he was on his way up north, hit a patch of black ice and lost control of the vehicle. Therefore, now he's in a wheelchair. After a couple years of getting back into life and wanting to have a business grow, he put all his energy in that happened. Now he wanted to continue on, get back to a physical lifestyle. So he went to look into different memberships at different health clubs. His biggest problem, they said they were wheelchair accessible. It just meant they could get him in the door. He couldn't really get through the equipment. So when he did finally find a place he could work out, his next problem was finding someone to get him back into the shape he was, at least to the point that he could now. So he found a gentleman, Randy Carver, who was his partner, at a local health club, got himself started, and they both realized that they had the same goal of being able to help people with disabilities. Chris, more so because he understands it from the actual standpoint of being there. And Randy, he had been doing it for the last 9 years and saw the reward helping people. He's been personal training for 27 years, but after about 18, 20 years of it, he realized that that wasn't rewarding anymore, and he wanted to go a step above. So when they got together, they got some great gains, and they said, well, let's build a place that not only will help people with able body, but disabled body as well, and that's how it came about. About a year ago, the brainchild came around, and we opened about 8 weeks ago, and that's why we're here now talking about it.
Okay. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. So basically, Christopher Grobel, yes, we had the pleasure of meeting him before, because he was a wheelchair recipient, decided to develop a training fitness center that will service both types of individuals, non-disabled and disabled.
Correct.
Okay, so that's got to be a pretty good concept there, because on the average, when you go to a gym and it says accessible, the key word is just getting in the building.
Yes.
Okay, and you know what, we never probably think about that. If you're a person in a wheelchair and the place says accessible, you just assume that it means that you can get in, go to the table or go to the bar or something of that nature, but actually it just means probably just the doorway.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that the individuals that are serving you once you go in are going to be familiar with you and your disability and those type of issues. So, you know, it's a new type of service, and people with disabilities are beginning to play the role of the customer now.
Okay.
And now that we walk in, and you know, we're expecting to be understood, and they have knowledge about people with disabilities and how they treat us within that environment also.
Okay, well, Tim Steinbrink, give us some history or some information on being the Disability Fitness Coordinator.
Absolutely, this is brand new for me. This is a new venture for me that I'm taking on. For the past 6 years, I've done a lot of advocacy work with the state and with employment and vocational goals and things like that. I found great rewards from that, but one of the things that I found from that is a lot of times people had jobs, and they lost jobs a lot of times because of their health. And a lot of times they weren't taking care of themselves, and they were running themselves down, and there weren't really too many places in the community to access to really have some exercise opportunities and to really work with some trainers that are going to really know, how to work with me, how to deal with my muscles so that I don't create secondary disability injuries. I already have a spinal cord injury. I don't want to create any more, but I still want to get stronger and have some more endurance. So Chris and I have done some ventures in the past together, and I've known Chris, and we do have the chair in common, and it kind of, we're kind of guy to guy right there with that. And so we started talking. He told me about his dreams and his visions and the things that he wanted to do. And the first chance I got, I really tried to find a place within that environment, within the gym. How can I do something? How can I expand this program to really help people? And knowing the disability side of that, I really felt that I could access the community and really be able to get people into the gym so that they have this opportunity. Just like any other opportunity, if people with disabilities don't know about this opportunity, they're not going to be able to access it. It's all about education. I think that's one of the reasons why Chris Grobel called the gym Cross Trainers Fitness Forum, is that we're not just there for fitness, but we're there to educate you about the community, about resources, about fitness, about health, nutrition, a number of other things.
Okay, so now, in the event that you have persons with disabilities utilizing the gym, is there a different nutritional program designed for persons with disabilities? So in other words, most people coming in and drink protein drinks and bodybuilding, fluids and everything. Is the same thing for a person with a disability or wheelchair recipient? Can they use the same types of, liquid substance to build body mass, muscles, and all that?
Absolutely. I think that it's just like anything else. It's not a disability program. It's not a non-disability program. It's an individualized program. And when you walk through our door, whether you have a spinal cord injury or you have cerebral palsy or you don't have any of these issues and you just want to peel off 10 pounds, we're going to look at what goals you have and the goals that you want to set for yourself, and then we'll adjust the programs according to that. And with the experience of the trainers and individuals like Randy Carver, who have had 27 years experience, we're going to be able to set up a program that's going to help you reach your goals.
Okay. Now, you speak of Randy Carver, and I had the pleasure of meeting him when we visit the site. He himself personally worked with both persons with disabilities as well as without. So then you set up a training program where most of your employees become familiar with working with persons with disabilities?
Absolutely. One of the reasons I was brought on is to make sure that the staff is aware of people with disabilities so that we have some disability sensitivity, so that we're taking our time, we're being more patient with people. It's not just this fast-moving club like some of the clubs that are out there. We're actually there to teach people something. We actually have a mission and a goal. It's not just about getting memberships and things like that. So we want to educate people and help people become a lot healthier.
Because I think that the more we work together as a team or work together in groups with various persons with disabilities and various persons without, we will learn from each other how to communicate, how to be more comfortable with one another. I think a lot of times people without disabilities are not as comfortable as they could be with the person with the disability, because actually if you talk, like we say here, if you just ask, you would find that this person, this wheelchair recipient, hey, they would enjoy sitting and talking with you, or rolling down the street with you alongside, or meet you at the gym. I'm getting in my car and you're impressed to see this person in a wheelchair get in the car. The person in the wheelchair that's getting in the car is not impressed. They're on their way. They're on their way to work, school, or to the gym, or to visit their family. Some of the things that I think society takes for granted is that they're impressed with how people with disabilities function. We as people with disabilities don't feel like we're impressed. We feel like this is a part of our livelihood.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. A lot of times when I am getting in and out of my vehicle, many times people come up and they're very impressed with how I'm doing it, and they say that looks really hard, and wouldn't there be easier ways and things like that. It's not about being hard or easy or coming up with a better way or not. This is how I live my life, and I can educate people on that. And some people are inspired, and that's okay, but some people got to realize that this is just my day-to-day life, just like they're getting up, going to work, doing their type of thing and living their life. Same thing. I just do it in a different way.
What was the recruitment measures that you used to get the disabled clients to actually come in?
Absolutely. Well, what we've had to do is we've really had to get into the community and start talking to some of the agencies that people with disabilities are already accessing. Oklahoma Macomb Center for Independent Living might be one of them. We access some of their members. We talk to the board. We try to get as many flyers and things in people's hands as we can. Once again, this is just a service that pops up out there that should have been there for a long time. And finally, now that it's there, our big push is to get out there and get people to know. One of the reasons we're here today is that's part of our mission.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm sure that our viewers who actually observe Just Ask will appreciate the fact that they hear about a gym that's designed for both types of individuals. Then, because this helps in two ways. If I had a disabled brother or sister and I'm going to the gym, why not take my disabled brother and sister to the gym? You know, hey, you want to go work out? The term, hey, you want to go work out is across the board. You know, it's universal, whether you're in a wheelchair or whether you're walking. Either one, hey, you want to go work out? Sure. That's how we should look at, you know, the whole thing in the first place when you go anywhere, really. So if there's ways for us to have activities to enjoy together, if sports or entertainment, it's just universal. It should be universal, and it's good to know that people like yourselves come aboard and learn from people with disabilities on how to relate and how to communicate, and it actually takes the sting out of it. Yep. So that's the part I'd be concerned with. It's like, let's take the sting out. The sting is that you're scared, that you're afraid to ask me a question, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, you know, and you want to know, I wonder how did she get around?
Absolutely. I think that if you assume, you never really find out what really is going on. So you need to ask. You need to just ask the questions. You know, you're going to meet some people with disabilities who are ready to answer those questions, and you're going to meet some that don't want to answer those questions. And we can say that about anybody in the world. You know, people have a right to answer those questions, not answering it, and how they react. For myself, I'm very open. I want people to understand the kind of life that I live and the kind of things that I want to do. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to work out. And I want to be able to do that with my friends. And I want them to feel comfortable as I feel comfortable. That's why the gym's called Cross Trainers. I'm training alongside you. We may be doing it differently, but we do have goals, and we're reaching those goals by working alongside each other and working really hard at that.
Well, that's a good statement, Tim. So what we're going to do is go to a commercial break, and we'll be back with some very good information and some video footage from Cross Trainers Fitness. We'll be right back.
Sometimes when you hear him crying, you can't see him. Other times when you can see him, you can't pick him up. When you can pick him up, your legs might not work to get you there. Multiple sclerosis randomly attacks the nervous system, so you never know what life will be like from one day to the next. After 50 years of helping people with MS, we're closer than ever to a cure. Help us find it.
Good. Hi, and welcome back to the second half of the show. For those of you who are just not joining us, we have the Cross Trainers Fitness Forum, and our guest is Tim Steinbrink and Richard Wilhelm. Okay, now I left off with some, well, you guys left off with some very helpful information here, but we had the opportunity to go out to Cross Trainers Fitness Forum and actually get a shot of some of the equipment that you used. But before we go into that footage, let me ask you this now. Normally, the clientele that you service is partially disabled and non-disabled. Is there someone on the staff that's always there that's pretty much trained in working with a person with a disability? Because if they come in, they have not a clue who's trained in what. So do you have selective members, or are all your staff persons pretty much trained in working with persons with disabilities now?
Well, the owner, Randy Carver, since he is the owner, is there from sun up to sundown usually. But he is training staff right now to be able to be there when he is not. We have one currently, she's a massage therapist as well as a personal trainer, and she's learning more about adaptive fitness, and she's there when he usually isn't there to cover his spot. So okay. Yeah, we do have someone.
So we have massages in there.
Oh,
huh?
we have it all.
Okay, now, so persons with disabilities, massages?
Absolutely, of course. They can access all the services.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing. Okay. Well, I tell you what, gentlemen, let's take let's take a shot at the video footage that we had the pleasure of receiving from you over at the Cross Trainers Fitness Center.
Great.
Now that was really nice. Yes, that was nice. Now what I want to ask you is Tim, explain to us the machine that the gentleman was on.
Sure. There was two pieces within that you just seen. The first part was Randy Carver,
Okay.
who's one of the owners and also a personal trainer that's certified with adaptive fitness. And he was working with an individual with a spinal cord injury, and they were on a machine called the Power Trainer. And what that Power Trainer does is it deals with cardiovascular and trying to get your pump blowing, trying to get your heart flowing, get
Okay.
that blood flowing through your heart, so you can get more stamina and more endurance and things like that. And what he does is he straps his feet inside of the holsters, and his hands are on the pedal machine. And as he's pedaling, it's moving his legs, and that's getting his blood flowing, and that's getting the blood flowing through the heart. The other piece that you've seen was myself working on the universal wheelchair weight machine, and I was doing some chest presses. And what's so great about that machine is that I can actually do it independently by myself. I'm able to access that machine while I'm in my chair. I don't have to get out of my chair. I don't necessarily always need assistance with a personal trainer. Sometimes, I'd like to work out by myself. So you were able to see some of those pieces,
Yeah.
and that's all part of our wheelchair alley section, where all those machines are accessible to people with disabilities, just as the rest of the club is. But those certain machines are really going to be accommodating for people's different conditions.
Okay. Now, what's very interesting about it is that, like you said, you don't have to get out of your chair.
Yes,
Okay, so those machines had to be specially designed.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. We had to look all over the country to find machines that we could fill our gym with that are going to work for all people.
Okay. Now, a person without a disability, they should not use those particular type machines, or can they?
Absolutely. And people with disabilities can use the other machines. It's universal. Every
Okay.
machine in there. If people can access it, if people can use it, we would encourage that. But we know that some of those machines just aren't going to work for people. Some machines just aren't going to work for me. So I need to go to a machine that's really going to be adapted to my physical condition.
Okay. Now, the one that the gentleman was on with Randy, I did notice how his feet and everything was strapped in. So, are the hand parts Velcro? Is that what's holding his hands in there?
Actually, I think with that gentleman, he has a spinal cord injury like myself, where we don't have the ability to grip things with our fingers.
Okay.
So we have to find other adaptive fitness techniques, such as hand straps. It's going to strap my hand right to that pedal machine. That's what adaptive fitness is all about. Okay, you can't hold on to the bar. Well, okay, does that mean you can't do it? No, that means we have to come up with a way for me to be able to do that. And some of those hand straps are out there, and they have been created.
Okay, that sounds nice. And I noticed all the colors in the Crayola crayon box was being used. Every color was in there. Tell Christopher that was nice. Okay, now let me ask you about the bathrooms. I have to ask about the bathrooms. Are the bathrooms, and we know they are, wheelchair accessible?
Absolutely. There are the entire place is wheelchair accessible, especially the bathrooms. We have 4 roll-in showers, 4 wheelchair roll-in showers, and all of the stalls and everything within that restroom is accessible. Okay. Trust me, Chris wants to be able to get in every part of his gym, and he's going to make sure that everyone else can do that too.
That's a wonderful thing. Okay, now I have these nice books here. I wanted to ask you about this particular huge binder. Fitness is for everyone. Now, what would I find if I was to read this book?
What you'd find is you'd find techniques, ideas, different strategies on working with people with disabilities, different kinds of disabilities, but then also different kinds of adaptive fitness to allow people to participate. And that's what it's all about. So you're going to find some techniques, you're going to find some personal training techniques. And that's one of the manuals that we use to teach up-and-coming new personal trainers that are interested and enthusiastic in what our vision is and what Chris and Randy have planned out to do.
Because I noticed the book says conducted by the National Handicap Sports and Recreation Association. So this is not your regular fitness book. This book entails about working with persons with disabilities.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a good book. Okay, so this is your new training module book, more or less, when you have people who are interested in becoming physical fitness trainers and working with persons with disabilities?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That's got to be a warm feeling, because you think that every time a person comes out of rehab, or only time they get physical fitness training is in rehab. Then when they come home from rehab, you primarily are on your own. How many people take the initiative to become active or exercise within their limitations if they're wheelchair recipients or visually impaired or anything. You know, so it's good to know that there are programs like yourselves and books and everything that you can read up on and learn or find out information on the how-to. Okay, that's the part I like, is the how-to. Now, we got these nice flyers here. Open now, Cross Trainers Fitness Forum. So, okay, you guys have only been open how long?
Since January 2nd.
January, okay. Okay, so you're in the early stages. All right.
early.
Well, when we visit,
Absolutely.
it looks so nice, and we could tell, you know, the clientele was definitely there.
Well, since we've opened, we've had a great response. I mean, the biggest thing that we try to provide is service for everyone. Our motto is service without limits. We want to be able to service everyone. And that little flyer right there that you're showing, if they mention Just Ask, we'll give them not only free 7 days to try it out, but 20% off. So
Oh my goodness! Now I know.
Just a little plug. We know we're not supposed to do that, but we need people to know that, you know, it's not just about you coming into our club, buying a membership. It's about you coming in and you trying it. And what we're willing to do is we let people try our club for free, because it's a big decision. It's a big choice. You're making a lifestyle change.
Okay, well, work out for free for 7 days, free trial membership, and you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. They said mention Just Ask, and hey, 20% off. That has got to be a good deal. That would help out
Absolutely.
anyone, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We like to help as much as possible in working with the persons with disabilities, so that the community at large would know where, when, how, and what to be involved in. You know, we have the Wheelchair Olympics every year, and you kind of wonder, where do these people train? You know, so do you
Absolutely.
guys plan to get involved with that, with the Wheelchair Olympics, or the Olympics period for persons with disabilities?
We do currently have a member that is in the Paralympics, and she competed in Sydney and placed.
28th, there's, you know,
No, she-
I can't even
No,
say.
I want to say she was like 100th of a second to make the final round. So she made it through preliminaries, made it through quarters and semis, and she was just a 100th of a second off to
Okay.
make the final 8. So we do have someone that's actually doing that. So we do have someone to be a motivating factor for someone else that wants to maybe attain the Paralympics and try out for that.
I
So.
think it's important to be involved, you know, and we shouldn't have to wait, because you often wonder, you know, people are training somewhere. Now,
Absolutely.
is your service, do you know if your service is the first of this kind in Michigan, or?
I know within Michigan, I've traveled around, I've done different tours. Nobody's like us. And I
Okay.
believe nobody across the country is like us. And we're setting a new trend, and this is a new direction in the healthcare industry. And that's the direction we're going. We've got a number of different services that we offer, and I don't want to miss out on those. So you want to tap on
Yeah,
those,
I'll just
Richard?
tap on those real quick. Like you were saying, this is for people with disabilities, but we wanted to go above and beyond that. Like I was saying, I've been doing this for 10 years. In most places, you know, you get your membership, you're given 3 little instruction days, and then you're pretty much on your own. And we want to take it to the next level, not only with people with disabilities, but the able-bodied member. When you first come into the club, what we do is an assessment. If you're an able-bodied member, you get assessed by a certified personal trainer to see if the basic program that comes with your membership is going to be something that you can do. If you have some old injuries that are lingering, a bad back, a bad knee, we want you to be assessed, and if the basic program is going to be detrimental to you, we want you to at least get personal training. And the reason we want you to do that is because of the injury. Now, if you come in with a disability, you'll be assessed by Randall Carver, the owner, and he'll be able to see what types of needs you will be having, and what trainer would be best suited to help you out in that sense. But everybody does get that assessment. And then once that assessment is done, every 8 weeks, we reassess you on a regular basis to see the progress that you've made, because as everyone knows, motivation is the biggest
Okay,
hindrance
yeah.
to keep you into your workout program. So if every 8 weeks, you know, you're going to get measured heart rate, blood pressure, height, weight, body fat, those types of things, you'll be motivated to go on to the next 8 weeks after you've seen the results that you receive. And then the biggest thing, what you said earlier about nutrition, that's something we have nutritional seminars every Saturday to educate our members on how to eat properly. The biggest problem is, you know, you only spend an hour or 2 in the gym. Those other 22 hours outside are really important. If you're not taught how to eat properly, all the hours that you spend in the gym will be for naught. So we want to educate. That's where the name Fitness Forum came about. We wanted to be an educational forum where we're actually teaching things. Now, all those things I mentioned come with your membership. Now, if you want to go above and beyond that, we do have personal training for the able-bodied member and adaptive fitness for the disabled member. And depending on your degree of disability or your learning curve, I mean, you get a couple of sessions, you can go on your own, or you may need a longer amount of sessions, and you can go up to 2 or 3 months with a trainer to have the actual program instructed to you, so you can go, you know, on your own, because that's the biggest thing. We want to be teaching people how to do things so they can take that information and make it a lifestyle. Like Tim has, he has a lifestyle coaching where he wants to go above and beyond the physical aspect of it and take it beyond that. And if I could take that back over to my man right there, he can tell you about the lifestyle coach.
Okay.
And I didn't want to miss out on that because I think that it's really important. You know, it is a lifestyle and it is a change. We live a certain way, and sometimes we look at that and say, okay, maybe we need to make some changes. We need to do some healthier things. But who do we talk to? We talk to our peers. That's who we talk to. We talk to who has done this, who has walked the path in which I want to walk, and I will talk to that person. So we offer lifestyle coaching, and what that does is we tap into a number of different categories, such as setting goals, problem solving, little things like beating the blues, you know? And we can't always be motivated and uppity up all the time.
Right.
So how do we deal with when we get down and we get a little depressed and things like that? I tell you what we do, we get them to the gym. And we start doing some stuff, and we interacting, and it becomes more of a social experience as well as an education and a fitness experience. So the lifestyle coaching is really, you know, a peer walking with you, someone teach you some of the ropes that are really going to help you be successful. Because, you know, I have a disability, I'm not sick. You know,
Okay.
I don't need
That's
a
right.
doctor.
That's
So
right.
we want to make sure that people know that, you know, this is just our lifestyle, and we may need some coaching in doing that.
Okay, well, gentlemen, you gave us an earful, and I know our listening and viewing audience is going to enjoy this information very much. And now you're located in Clinton Township?
Yes, Clinton
Clinton
Township.
Okay, I know that they won't be the same this summer, so we'll definitely come back out and visit the gym again. Matter of fact, I attempt to start to work out myself. Season's changing, why not? Okay, but we definitely want to come out again and get a chance to observe the facility once again. Please tell Randy and Christopher we both say hello, and look forward to hearing from them again soon.
And
Thank
thank
you
you
for
so
having
much
us.
for having us.
We're going to hold you to that. You got a free month. Come on.
Yeah, we're
See
going to
how they-
hold you to
See how
that.
they do me? Okay, well, thank you, and please feel free to come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we try to give you something that you need, which is information, good information and services for the disabled as well as the non. Please, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, give us a call at Just Ask. And our number is 248-988-0250, 248-988-0250. If you'd like to contact any of our guests, you may call us and we will forward the information to you. Or write to us and tell us about any upcoming show ideas that you would like to see. We would like to thank our guests, as usual, for always coming and giving us information that you need to know about. So, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. But as I always say, if you know someone with a disability, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. Thank you.